to stand, you can stand, or you can reach up here. And perhaps I love this Spanish weather. And I think I always like to sing. Hear the sound of the sun. Hear the sound of the sun. Let's make the sound of the sun. Imagine. Which kind of sound you make? Hear the sound of the sun. Hear the sound of the sun. And your voice. Which kind of sound you would like to Hear the sound of the wind. Hear the sound of the wind. The sound of the wind. Let's do some windmills. And the other way. You can do the bigger ones if you have space.
Shoulders.
So, and some relaxation. Oh, wow. Yes, I think now you can sit. So, my name is Inkeri Ruokonen, as you know, and I come from the University of Turku, and there the Faculty of Education and Department of Teacher Education. I work there as a professor of early childhood education. But before I arrived to Turku University, I have worked a very long time in my alma mater, Helsinki University, as a teacher educator. I have the background of a teacher, and you will notice that, of course, I have did my dissertation in education in the University of Helsinki, but I have also worked previous kindergarten teacher, and after that as a music teacher. And this is my background besides these educational sciences. I was so fond of, always I have been so fond of your thoughts about phenomenon learning, because it's so natural for young children. And I think many school teachers have learned a lot also from early childhood education, because we do this kind of holistic pedagogy. So, but anyway, here you can see the picture from our campus, and my students' first thing when I came to the University of Turku, I established the minor studies for arts and skills education in early childhood education, because I noticed that our students need more this arts education, holistic arts education. And here are, in this autumn, our students. We have a wonderful windmill in our campus area in Rauma. Yes. So, in this keynote lecture, I introduce some key points from Finnish early childhood education and peer system, and also shortly about our teacher education. Because I think everything starts from early childhood education, and it's very important. And we have also a lot of problems, but we have done great work in Finland, but actually nowadays we have the lack of qualified pedagogical educated teachers. This is our most important thing what we have to develop. And then I will shortly introduce our university, our campus, because we have really special campus. Here you can see our garden. We have only training garden left in our campus, and our school children and also our daycare children from campus, they have their own gardening lessons, and they really learn the values of sustainable development and how to grow food nearby you, and they value the nature. So here you can see this, our somehow educational structure. This is from the National Agency for Education, and And you can see that the basement is from early childhood education and care, and then starts this pre-primary education and basic education. And what I want to show from this, that in Finland we promote that everyone who is motivated to study can continue in any phase of the studies, and there are no dead ends in our educational system, because you can always find your ways if you are engaged and motivated. So you can find your way, and we have very good support for our students and also free education in the university level. And then some words about early childhood education, which forms the basement for the lifelong learning. And education in early childhood and care may be provided for children who have not yet reached the school age. And provision on pre-primary education are laid down on the Basic Education Act. And so every family in Finland have subjective right to have early childhood education for their children, and it must be ensured that all children have the opportunity to participate also in pre-primary education before the school starts. And this pre-primary education can be organized both in early education centers and also primary schools. So all children under school age have the subjective right to early childhood education and care, and the parents of the child can decide whether or not their child participates in this ECEC, early childhood education and care. After the parental leave period, when the child is usually 9 to 10 months, parents have several options, as you can see. ECEC centers, family daycare, for example, and different kind of clubs and playground activities, or open ECEC centers. And if the parents choose to take care of their child at home, this is possible also, and they can have the care leave and allowance until the child turns 3 years old. And I think I later speak about the OECD evaluation that what is important for Finnish families is that we would offer more early childhood education and care in our long country, because we have long. For example, in Lapland, there is a long way to go to the ECEC center, and that's why children are very often taken care at home. And also we have those immigrant families who don't know about our service system. Then I want to show shortly something about our history, because actually this year we celebrate 130 years of our first early childhood education and care teacher education. It started 1892 in Finland, and there was this lady, you can see in the picture, upper picture there, Anna Rothman, who studied actually in Berlin in pedagogy Fröbelhaus, and the pedagogy which came to Finland, it's based on pedagogies and Friedrich Fröbel's thinking and ideas. And here under you can see children constructing with giant Fröbel blocks. And this is very important for the architectural education. They can really create their own buildings or whatever castles that they create. It's really fantastic. But the Fröbel blocks usually in the first blocks they were small one, but we have designed these big ones. Alexander Reichstein is an artist in Finland who has designed these giant blocks. And now, 130 years ago, it was started in Finland. It was the first country in Nordic country where this early childhood education, teacher education was started. But now this is 5 university, Bachelor of Art level degree program, and our students can continue to the master programs, and in the future every head of the ECEC center, they need to have this master degree in education. And we really value in Finnish teacher education this kind of double supervision model in our teaching practicum, where one teacher from the university and one teacher from in this case in ECEC center are guiding and supervising our teachers. And also we have this the new Act of Early Childhood Education, and according to this new Act, there are 3 types of staff in every ECEC center. There has to be at least one teacher who is qualified at the university level Bachelor of Arts degree in every group, and then there can be social pedagogue in early childhood education and care and child carer, but at least one of them has to be qualified teacher from Department of Teacher Education. Then we have in Finland this kind of right to learn program, and this is actually our government's program. We have very wonderful 5 ladies, or I don't know if there are any more, 5 or 4, but we are very proud of our Prime Minister and other ministers who have been dancing. Yes, dancing and enjoying, and also doing a wonderful work in difficult times in Finland. And also they started this kind of right to learn development programs in Finland, and these are for basic education but also to early childhood education. And here are the goals for right to learn program. We will create equal conditions for learning paths for every child, and we will promote learning support, and we will create more flexible start for learning, and we will improve the quality of early childhood education and care. And these all levels are followed, and this has been really interesting work, and a lot of research and evaluation has been done. I have also been a part of this early childhood education and care forum, who has been following this right to learn program, which is now ending this at the end of this year. But what about our values? If we think about everything is starting about the values, equality and well-being for every child. There is the right of the child. This is the value for, I think, for all Finnish education. We value this convention, United Nations conventions, and then we promote this holistic growth and development and learning, and of course collaboration with parents and their guardians. And then this learning through play, which was also in Kirsti's presentation, because we can always somehow play with our thoughts. And I always say that in the arts you can still have your play word present, even if you don't play when you are adults, but it's good to play with children also when you are adults. So and then this is really very important, what I said, that every child has this subjective right to early childhood education, and we have this pre-primary education. This is free of charge from 6 to 7, and now we have this experiment going on for 2 years pre-primary education. And then we of course have this flexible school starting age in Finland, and inclusive education and individual support for child learning and well-being is offered, and also this is in our Act of Basic Education, also in the early childhood education. This was part of this Right to Learn program that we changed our Act of Early Childhood Education to offer this 3-level support for every child. So all municipalities are responsible for arranging these services for guardians and parents, because they have subjective right for the early childhood education and care, so there has to be this kind of daycare centers and family daycare, whatever they offer, open daycare centers. And the subject, the fee for this early childhood education, it depends on the family income and number of children. And this is, I think, really, I don't know if in your country is this kind of system, but I think this is quite unique in Finnish system, that we have this national core curriculum, which is for the whole country, and it's concerning all types of early childhood education. And then all local municipal cities and or places, they are writing their own curriculums, and according to that, all ECE centers are writing their curriculums, which are based on the national core curriculum. And after that, for every child, this kind of early childhood and care curriculum is written. This is very individual, and this is written with the teachers, with the parents or guardians of the child, and with all those specialists, for example, early childhood special teacher if the child needs some special help, and also the children are participated to this process. And so every child has own curriculum, and where adults are thinking, how can we support this child to reach his or her best and be happy and feel well. I think this is quite unique in our system. Here you can see this for each child, and there is this how pedagogical activities are used to support child's development, learning and well-being. And how these child groups are formed. We have inclusive education, we value this, and what I have to say, we lack more this special educational support in our inclusive groups. We have a very wonderful system, but we lack resources in many places, and that's what we have to really work for. Usually these children groups in early childhood education, they may be formed in many ways, for example, taking into account the children's ages or siblings relationships or needs for support. There is not only one way to do this. And usually this pre-primary education for 6-year-olds takes place in separate groups, but also they can be together with younger children. And then after that, the pre-primary education for 6-year-olds in comprehensive schools, they can be also provided either on separate groups or together integrated in the class in the grades first to especially in those municipals where they have small schools and the amount of children is small. So Finnish teachers have a great autonomy in all levels of education. We have this national core curriculum and teachers are responsible for fulfilling the aims and implementation and evaluation of those curriculums, but they can plan their own pedagogy according to this national level curriculum, and they are also somehow valued. They are not so much followed what you are doing, but they are respected and valued their education, that they really can do their work. And I think then we have this kind of national evaluation system. For example, Finnish Education Evaluation Center is responsible for national-wide early childhood education evaluations, and these are somehow self-evaluations. So the early childhood education and their staff, they self-evaluate their work through those questions which are sent for them, and after that they really think how they have done and what they should improve. So this is also, nobody is going to observe their work, but they observe themselves and evaluate and reflect themselves. This September, OECD did this evaluation about the Finnish Right to Learn program, and here are some interesting statistics I wanted to show you. You see those red lines, and here are the Nordic countries, and you see that actually this participation in early childhood education and care has not been very good in Finland compared to other Nordic countries, but it has raised now. For example, after this 2018, when we had this Act for Early Childhood Education, now it has raised above the OECD average. But you can see that Denmark and Sweden are much more higher, or is it Norway and Sweden? They are much more higher. So this is what we have to improve in Finland. The equal opportunities, and also we have to improve those information, for example, the immigrant families. And here you see those OECD evaluation main results. It's a very big report, but anyway, some results that Finland is following the standards and regulations, and we have done a lot of good work, but anyway, we have many things to continue. And here are those challenges what we have to think about. We have a lot of variations between municipalities and according to capacity and resources, and also we have the lack of the teachers, as I mentioned, and then also they need continuous learning possibilities. Also the strengthening of the arts education came from this report, and this strengthening diversity in pedagogy, and also the information for immigrant families and those families who have socio-economically problems in all areas of our long country. Then some words about this holistic concept of early childhood pedagogy. We did a review with our colleagues. We started to discuss which kind of is our early childhood pedagogy, what is behind it, and then we found we went through very many research articles and also dissertations concerning Finnish early childhood education. We found this kind of thematic approaches: pedagogy through interaction, pedagogy through scaffolding, pedagogy through didactics, pedagogy through expertise, and pedagogy through future orientation. So we find this kind of 5 approaches in Finnish early childhood pedagogy, and there are also some key points which are describing these 5 approaches, and I think this is the area which needs more educational research in the future. But this was very interesting when we were discussing in Zoom and introducing those researches. And then we found some cross-sectional elements which were found in all these approaches. And as you can see, the most important elements were child and content, not the teacher, and not so much the learning. I don't know, the learning there, it has disappeared, but it is still there. I can tell because it's so light, but it's the learning is in this level. But anyhow, this is so funny because it's so light in my It is PDF, you can't see it, but it is in PowerPoint and I can see it here.
A Freudian slide.
Yes, learning has not disappeared. Okay. So, this is our framework for pedagogical activity in Finnish early childhood education and care really in our national core curriculum. And you can see here, this is really holistic picture and approach. Here are all these underlying values and conceptions of learning and learning environments and pedagogical educational knowledge and also knowledge about child's development and operational culture and collaboration. And then there are these children's interests and needs. We really want to participate children when we are designing these learning areas. And this is just what Kirsti was speaking about, phenomenal learning. Here are the learning areas. These are very holistic, but anyway, we want to participate and start from the interests of children. What we start to, which is the theme, what we are going to research and where we want to go in. And then we combine, teachers combine all pedagogical areas there, and we use play, moving, exploring, and all kind of holistic thing for learning. And of course, there are those transversal competencies which were also present in Kirsti's slides. So the conception of learning is very holistic, and children's development is supported, ensuring that they learn to act as well as to use their competence also for the good of other people. Here you can see in my campus, our Pikkunorssi early childhood education care center children collecting in harvesting time. They are looking what is found from the garden. And also, not all transversal competencies have not disappeared. I'm happy about this, but here you can see those transversal competencies which are in our early childhood education and care, because these are going through all educational levels from early childhood education to high school, but they are a little bit different. But for example, this thinking and learning is in every phase, and there are coming more these contents when the children are growing. But we have these thinking and learning and cultural competence, interaction, self-expression, taking care of oneself and managing daily life, and multiliteracy competence in information and communication technology, participation and involvement. And through these we want to develop knowledge, skills, values, attitudes and will in a holistic way. I just put some research which are example of, for example, we did this research for children's creative thinking abilities and social orientations. So they are just mentioned in the slides. Then shortly about these learning areas in early childhood education and care. We have these 5 learning areas, very holistic ones. Rich world of languages is one of them. Then we have diverse forms of expression, and tomorrow in my workshop I will tell more about, or I give some examples how we do this kind of diverse forms of expression with our early childhood teacher students, and tomorrow we can jump into these expressive moments together. Then there is me and my community, exploring and interacting with my environment and grow, move and develop, and very shortly about these areas. So this the aim of ECEC is to strengthen the development of children's linguistic skills and capacity, as well as their linguistic identities, and really this ECEC strengthens children's curiosity towards the interests of languages, texts and cultures, and this is also connected to the development of their multiliteracy skills. And in this slide you can see the main areas of the children's linguistic development aims in areas in our curriculum. And then these diverse forms of expression, it's including all musical, visual, verbal and physical expression, so all different art forms and cultural heritage education. So we have very holistic approach to creative expression, and we use a lot of play. And here is this example about our recent research where we found that was concerning the toddlers' learning environment. So the children in the groups of much music and singing was emphasized and exhibited more sustainable, intense activity and less low or interrupted involvement. And these groups exhibited more positive emotions, also social adaptation and involvement with the adults. So really it was important to have music and singing in the children's group. And then this me and my community, in this area children learn ethical thinking and worldview education, of course to respect the diversity in the world and intercultural sensitivity in the interaction. And also this past, present and the future orientation. Media education is part of this, and the window from this is from our campus daycare center, the outdoor yard. Then this exploring and interacting environment, it's including mathematical thinking and technology education and environmental education. My colleague Hanula Sormunen has been very interested in early mathematics education, and she's always speaking about the mathematical classes. So let's put on mathematical classes, she says, and then she can, for example, count all kinds of obstacles and somehow make notions and become interested in what you can see in your environment. And that's what children are doing all the time. You just guide them to notice some mathematical things. Then, very, very important, I grow, move and develop. The physical activity is very important in early childhood education, also the health and safety education. You will hear more about the safety education. Britta Somerkoski is telling tomorrow about the first Finnish ECEC project in early childhood education, which was started in our campus, and also the food education. We offer food for all children from early childhood to the high school level in our schools and kindergartens. So, this is where I come from, the University of Turku. We have high-level early childhood teacher education, also the international programs, Bachelor of Arts, 20 international teacher students started this autumn, and they can continue to the master level in Turku. And we based our pedagogy on research, of course, in every university in the Finnish teacher education, and we collaborate especially with this our own daycare center, which we call ECTEC Center, Early Childhood Teacher Education Center, and we promote arts, science and environmental pedagogy. And here you can see our kindergarten children in our garden. I did one my research about how children are learning from their garden experiences, and they, of course, they were doing their activities in the garden, but at the same time they were also drawing and telling stories. And I could find a lot of very true information about what is happening in the garden, because they saw every seed they put on the land, and then they harvested everything, and then they somehow told about them in their drawings. But in every drawing there was something imaginative, something what came from the space to the garden or from the fairy tales. So there was not only fact pictures, but in every picture there was something really special, something what they have imagined that it's in this garden, in their pictures. So, and then I would like to show you the environment of our kindergarten from our campus. I have this kind of video if you have time at the end to see this. And somehow I want to show that we have really wanted to build the environment which inspires children to learn, and where they can feel well, and also we have very good staff in this campus kindergarten, because our students are practicing there. We have in every group 2 teachers who are qualified university level early childhood education and care teachers. So let's try. This is starting.
Tervetuloa Pikkunorssin kierrokselle.
Moi, mä oon Eero ja mä toimin tällä kierroksella teidän oppaana. Lähdetään kattoo mitä kaikkea Pikkunorssista löytyy. Ensimmäinen esiteltävä tila on monitoimitiloista ateljee. Pikkunorssin ateljeesta on pyritty luomaan tila, joka tarjoaa kokemuksia taiteesta sekä tarjoaa mahdollisuuden luovuuteen sekä taiteellisuuteen. Taidenäyttelyseinälle lapset saavat koota oman taidenäyttelynsä. Taiteesta voidaan yhteisesti keskustella kuvallisten kysymysten kautta. Taiteen katsomiseen liittyen arvostetaan jokaisen lapsen kuvasta tekemään tulkinnosta. Taideseinälle lapset pääsevät yhteisöllisesti tekemään omia taideteoksiaan. Tämän toteutuksen löytyy ateljeesta taidelaatikot, jotka lapsi voi ottaa ja aloittaa matkan luovuuteen. Välineet ovat oppimisympäristössä tarjoamana ja tuovat mahdollisuuksia toiminnalle. Toinen monitoimitila on Rauman Pikkunorssin pikkukeittiö. Pikkukeittiö on varusteltu perusruoanlaittoon tarvittavilla välineillä, mikrolla, hellalla, astianpesukoneella ja jääkaapilla. Kuvitetut tilat luovat lapsille selkeyden, mistä välineet löytyy. Pikkukeittiön oiva tila toteuttaa esimerkiksi matemaattisia taitoja. Monitoimitila Kässäämö on viimeinen monitoimitiloista. Kässäämötila on osoitettu sekä koville että pehmeille materiaaleille lapsen käsitöiden luomiseen. Kässäämössä löytyy monipuoliset varusteet, höyläpenkit, vasarat, naulat ja muut tarvittavat. Kässäämö on myös ensimmäinen Pikkunorssin tutkimustiloista, joka tarkoittaa kahta katossa olevaa kameraa, josta seuraavassa näette videon, miten kameroilla pystyy luomaan sekä video- että tutkimusmateriaalia. Seuraavaksi pääset katsomaan Rauman Pikkunorssin ryhmätiloja. Jokainen ryhmä on varustettu älytaululla, jossa on kosketusominaisuus. Ryhmätilojen suunnittelussa huomioidaan lapsilähtöisyyttä ja lasten ideoita. Oppimisympäristöjä muokataan yhdessä lasten kanssa. Oppimisympäristössä näkyy erilaisia teemoja ja niiden kautta tapahtuvaa projektioppimista. Tässä pääset näkemään eskareidemme roihujen ryhmätiloja. Pikkunorssin henkilöstön kahvi- ja taukohuoneesta haluttiin luoda myös tila, jossa lapset voivat viettää aikaa. Pikkunorssin kirjastossa on kuva-alustojen kautta merkityt luokitukset ja hyllypaikat kirjoille. Lapset voivat niiden kautta pohtia sitä, mikä aihepiirin kirjoja he haluaisivat lukea. Kirjaston haluttiin tuoda myös muuta toiminnallisuutta, esim. Kirja-arvostelujen sekä QR-koodien kautta. Pikkunorssin kirjastoon on Lukupesä-hankkeen tiimoilta tehty opiskelijayhteistyönä lukutyynyt. Tässä näet kuvaa Rauman Pikkunorssin ruokalasta. Pikkunorssin ruokalassa syövät kaikki muut ryhmät paitsi alle 3-vuotiaat. Rauman Pikkunorssin liikuntasalista on pyritty tekemään välineistön, lattiateippauksien ja seinällä olevien kuvitusten mukaan toiminnallinen ja lasta liikuntaan innostava. Pikkunorssissa on Mobile Active Floor, josta näette seuraavaksi kuvaa. Digitaaliset pelialustat, jotka heijastetaan lattiaan, innostavat lapsia oppimaan ja liikkumaan. Avautuvat kiipeilyseinät, värivalot ja välineistö auttavat toteuttamaan liikuntaa monipuolisesti aina alle 3-vuotiaista eskareihin. Pikkunorssi on ensimmäinen harjoittelupäiväkoti erityisesti varhaiskasvatuksen opettajaopiskelijoille. Pikkunorssin opiskelijatila tukee ja auttaa opiskelijoita toteuttamaan projekteja ja harjoittelun aikaisia tehtäviä. Norssin käytäviin on laitettu erilaisia lattiateippauksia sekä seiniltä löytyy aktiviteettitauluja. Kohta näette lisää myös teippauksia. Toinen Pikkunorssin tutkimustila, jossa on myös kamerat, on nimeltään Satupuuhuone. Satupuuhuoneesta on tarkoitus tehdä yhteisöllinen leikkitila, jossa kaikki päiväkodin lapset voivat vierailla. Leikkitilaan tulee erilaisia teemoja, joiden toteutuksen vastaavat kaikki lapsiryhmät. Satupuuhuone on muuttunut esimerkiksi paloasemaksi ja tällä hetkellä se liittyy matkailuteemaan. Tässä näette Pikkunorssin lentokoneen. Satupuuhuoneen nurkassa näitte satupuun, jossa seikkailevat pienet eläimet. Pikkunorssin musiikkikärryjä löytyy 3 kappaletta, jotka ovat varustettu erilaisin instrumentein. Pikkunorssin rakennuksen toisessa päässä sijaitsee alle 3-vuotiaiden ryhmät Silmut ja Noput. Silmujen ruokailutilassa on myös Rauman Pikkunorssin viimeinen tutkimuskäyttöön osoitettu tila. Tässä videossa näette, kuinka tarkkaan kuvaan tutkimustilojen kameroilla pystyy. Alle 3-vuotiaiden ryhmien katot ovat selkeästi matalammalla, jolla on ollut tarkoitus luoda pesämaista tunnelmaa lapsille. Ryhmätiloissa on hyödynnetty kuvitusta ja luoda oppimisympäristöstä sellainen, jossa alle 3-vuotiaat pääsevät kasvamaan ja kehittymään. Yksi tärkeä oppimisympäristö Pikkunorssin lapsille on Rauma-kampuksella sijaitseva seminaaripuutarha. Seminaarin puutarha tukee monipuolisesti Pikkunorssin lasten ympäristöpedagogista oppimista.
Here you could see this, our ECTEC center, which we are very proud of in our campus. I lost my keynote. Anyway, I was coming to the end. So we do a lot of research and pedagogical development projects with these Pikkunorssi teachers and children, and as you could see, we also can stream everything. So only few of our students can be with the children and the others can follow. It's really one good thing. So I think it's time for relax, and I thank you for your attention, and I wish you all welcome to Finland and to Turku University, to Helsinki University, I think, and to our campus, which is very beautiful. And these are all located in the coast of Finland, so you can always see the sea.